Pa 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 da pa pa da pa 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 da pa 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 da pa pa da pa pa da pa 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 da pa 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 da pa 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 da pa 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 da pa 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 da pa pa da pa 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 da pa 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 da pa. Hey everybody, welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave Canyon. Welcome to the Dumbcast. It's a Dumbcast in a Carcast in a podcast. 3 shows in one. We're talking about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. As I talk into the bottom of my phone, driving my Dodge Caravan, not the Kia Rio. It's off in the Kia Rio. Kia Rio is on the side right now. It's resting. It needs a little bit of a winter break. Got to take it to the shop and get it a tune-up. I'm not sure if we're sending the Kia to hospice, or if it's going to just take a tune-up, or what the story is. But it's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. I think I'm going to call the show, What's My Problem? What's my problem? You know how people say that? What's your problem? Maybe they just say that in Brooklyn. I don't know. Do they say that? Is that said in the Midwest? Is it said on the West Coast? Hey, man, what's your problem? You know, I don't know how they would say it I'm not going to do all the dialects of the United States, but you know what I mean. But I say that to myself. I'm very hard on everybody else, and I'm mostly hard on myself. Very hard. You have no idea. People have no idea how hard I am on myself. But I'm very hard. I beat up myself all day long. Very rarely do I sit and go, hey, man, you're great. Hey, man, good job. Hey, man, you did good. Pat yourself on the back. Although my wife would disagree. She says, boy, you always want a pat on the back. Well, you know what? That's true. I do often, O-F-T-E-N, often want a pat on the back. I wouldn't say all the time, but I do live in my world, and my world is, what's my problem? I have problems. I have reading problems, which I've mentioned many times on this show, comprehension problems. Like I'll read it, I'll go, I don't know what I just read. So does that mean I don't know the words? No, not really. It means that I'm not focused. I'm not focused on what I'm reading because my brain is in 20 different locations. But Dave, you said you're meditating. Yeah, I am meditating. I've been meditating for a while now. I think I'm on like a 170 day some odd streak of meditating. I'm also on a 670 day streak with my Spanish, with my Duolingo. Am I as far with Spanish as I would think you should be? And that's only the streak. I've been doing this Duolingo now for, I think, 3 years. I'm not even sure. I'd have to check the date. A good podcaster would have been prepared with all this information. But I'm sitting here in the Dodge Caravan, and it is 6:55 a.m., I think it's January 20th. That sounds about right. It's dark outside. I'm on my way to work. It's rainy a little bit. It's a little misty. We had some snow and ice here. We've had, in 2023 so far, a very warm winter. Is it one of the warmest winters ever? I don't know. You know, I'm waiting for someone to say that. It's the warmest winter on record. Weather... deniers, you're wrong. It's whatever the words are. You know, global warming. Oh, my God. Global warming. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know anything about global warming. I don't know if everything's in cycles. I don't know about the politics of it all. But it has been incredibly warm, which in my industry is not good because we need freezing temperatures in the oil industry. We need people using and buying propane. We need people using and buying heating oil, and that's just not residential. That's commercial. That's businesses. My company does businesses. We supply the businesses that supply retail as well. So it's like we need cold. We need, and also the people who live in the mountains up here in upstate New York with the snow, with the skiing and all that. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is going on. So anyway, that is the sum up of the winter weather in 2023. As I said, I am in the Dodge Caravan. I'm headed northbound on I-87. I do this podcast during my commute so you can enjoy it during your commute. It is, in fact, the fastest podcast on earth. Right now, I'm traveling of speeds, which I could say pretty confidently. I could give you a digital readout. Let me see what it says here digitally, because speedometerally, it says I'm doing 69. All right, what a dope. Speed-wise, yeah, digitally it says 67. I took my foot off the gas a little bit. So there you go. And the mileage on the Caravan, usually I give you the Kia mileage. I'll give you the Dodge Caravan mileage, 121,547 miles. 121,547 miles. That's the proper way to say it. Yes. And not bad. I bought this, I think, at 80,000 or 79,000. I can't remember. I was really trying to not use this as a commuter vehicle. But I do enjoy driving it. And it's a nice ride. I think it's pretty quiet as far as my recording goes. I think you can hear everything I'm saying here in the bottom of the phone as I hold the phone in my left hand and I'm holding the steering wheel in my right hand. All right, well, that's a lot of what to do about I don't know what. But let's get to my problem. What's my problem? The problem is what I've summed up in the last day, but I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days because I've been in this kind of a mastermind group, like this podcast, a mastermind group, although nobody, I don't think, refers to it as that. We kind of are going with the slogan, although nobody refers to the slogan either, for the most part, that the group is the guru. There is no real guru. The group is the guru. And it's let me, when I get on the hot seat, when it's time for everybody to analyze Dave Canyon, what's Dave Canyon's issues? What are his problems? What are his opportunities? With Dumbing It Down with Dave, and for Dave's Fit Life, which, by the way, is making a very strong comeback on YouTube. Check out Dave's Fit Life on YouTube. DAVE. Is it apostrophe S? I should know that, shouldn't I? Well, anyway, Dave's Fit Life. Put it in there. It'll probably bring you right to the YouTube channel, and you'll see my trailer video. I have a trailer video, which is pretty cool, and I think we're going to replace that with a new video. I think we have a new video. I've seen it. It's fantastic. My AI in the Philippines did a great job on helping me create it. Helped me. She did most of the work. I helped her. We helped each other. But so Dave's Fit Life is coming back, and this is episode 308 of Dumbing It Down with Dave. I sat here with the phone in my hand going, record, don't record, record, don't record, do it, don't do it. What do I feel like? Because I always try to give you an authentic podcast, not a scripted one, sometimes it's bullet pointed because I feel like there's things I got to talk about. And the more complicated I make Dumbing It Down with Dave, the less I do it. And that has been like one of the number one problems. I'm going to try to avoid saying my biggest problem, my number one problem, because as I have evaluated and reevaluated my situation over the last day or so, and over the last couple of weeks that I've been in this podcast mastermind group, which is supposed to be just about your podcast. But for me, it's hard for me in 3 to 5 minutes to describe to the group what's going on, because they're not in my head, and we only have so much time. And I don't want to type out a whole blog about what's going on, although I should on my website. But there's a lot going on. It's not just the podcast. It's personal, but no different from you. I don't want anybody to think, oh, wow, Dave really has it bad. I don't have it bad. I have it hard. I have it difficult. I have it loaded. My life is loaded. I'm trying to find better words to describe my situation, because it's easy to say problem, my biggest problem. What's your problem? Well, my problem is I have a lot of opportunities. My problem is I have a lot of, I'm loaded. My gun is fully loaded. All right. Gun analogies, probably not a good idea. But I have a lot of ammunition. I got to decide what my target is. The gun being my brain. The gun being my creativity. All right? And for those of you who really despise gun analogies, I guess I could come up with a sports analogy. That's what men do. What would a woman do? That's interesting. What would a woman's analogy be for having too much opportunity? I have no idea. But if there's a woman listening, which according to my statistics, there are, and you're in your 40s to your 60s, stop by the Spreaker chat room and say hello. The Spreaker chat room. Spreaker, not speaker. Spreaker. I have no affiliate relationship with them, although I've had that opportunity a couple of times, and I keep on blowing it. Spreaker. Spreaker. Dumbing It Down with Dave is hosted on Spreaker. If you listen to Dumbing It Down with Dave on Podbean, there's also a chat box on Podbean. I don't know, there's, I think, Breaker, or there's like one or two other platforms that have a chat box. I think I've said this before. One day I'm going to go through all the platforms that I'm on and see which ones have the chat option. But anyway, if you haven't been listening on Spreaker, go to Spreaker and look up Dumbing It Down with Dave. I should come up in your search somewhere in the word dumbing, I think. It's weird. I love playing that game. Whenever I search my title, it's somewhere in there. D-U-M-B. I wait. And then, sometimes I got to get to it, and then Dumbing It Down with Dave comes on. It all depends. But it's a fun game I like to play. All right, so I don't know what a woman would analogy would be. That's not really the subject of this podcast, but I am tangenting off, but I'll come back. Yeah, I went a little bit off the rails. So what? Oh, but Dave, I'm here to hear what's your problem. Well, part of my problem is I tangent. When I speak, I tangent. When I live my life, I tangent. You know what they say in the 12-step programs? They say when you're in a room for OA, Overeaters Anonymous, or what's the Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, any of the A's. A lot of people like to leave the room before the meeting is over because they feel like it doesn't pertain to them, like when I tangent. A lot of people say, this isn't the meeting for me. The speaker isn't the one for me. Or, I'm not getting what I want out of this. So they'll say a couple of things. They'll say, take what you want, what you need or what you want, and then leave the rest on the table. Leave the rest there. They'll also say, when you want to leave a meeting early, they'll say, don't leave the meeting. Stay to the end. Stay for the miracle. Because you just never know when it's going to pop up. It could be 5 minutes before the ending. There's been many stories in these 12-step programs, which some of you might have been a participant at one time or another, or now, but, it's anonymous, so you don't have to say anything. I have been very open about my Overeaters Anonymous, which I have not gone to a meeting in a long time, in a couple of months. I probably should be in a meeting every day or a couple of days a week, but I just have not made that a priority. I've tangented that out of my life. But not completely. I could make a meeting anytime I want. I don't know if you can hear those raindrops, but it's raining pretty hard. Not pretty hard, but I'm going at a certain speed, and the water is hitting my windshield. Which is also a good analogy. Is it raining hard? Or am I traveling at such a speed right now, 74 miles an hour, where it sounds like it's raining hard, but it's not. The water is falling at the rate of speed the water is falling from the sky. I just happen to be hitting it harder than I was, say, at 70 as I take my foot off the gas. These are all good analogies. Stay in the episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave, even after the icebreaker, even after I tangent off, because you never know when the miracle will happen. I might actually be in a good space of clarity and get to the point. So my problem is I'm loaded. If I'm a gun, I'm loaded. I got plenty of ammunition. I got ammunition that doesn't even fit in the gun. So I'm carrying around those big, heavy belts. Those big, heavy belts of ammunition. Those things are incredibly heavy. I just saw Sylvester Stallone in a documentary, I think about him. I'm sure it was about him. He does a lot of stuff about him, which is fine. I'm not getting down on Sylvester Stallone. Although I do have some criticisms about things he's done. Maybe one day I'll interview him and he'll give me that look like, I'm going to punch your lights out. I don't like being criticized. But anyway, all I have to say is Rocky the Musical. That's all I have to say. Okay. Anyway, which 99% of you have never heard of, you've never seen it, and consider yourself fortunate. You've never seen Rocky the Musical on Broadway. But I did. I did because I'm married. The only reason why I saw it is because I'm married. Okay. So, what's my problem? I'm loaded. I got too much ammunition. So he would talk about those belts, Rocky. Sylvester Stallone, those belts are incredibly heavy. and he said how ridiculous it is that anybody could run through the jungle with, 2 belts on you, and you got this gun that looks like it came off the side of a helicopter, one of those big guns. And Schwarzenegger and him had some sort of competition back in the day. Who could have a bigger gun? Who could kill more guys? And it was just a competition they had. I don't know if it was friendly or not. And again, stay for the miracle, because the analogy is I'm in competition with other podcasts. Not really as far as I'm concerned, but really in terms of getting the audience. 2 million podcasts are out there. 2 million specific ideas, not episodes. 2 million podcasts are out there, and I think only about 200 to 300,000 are active. So that does shrink, the competition a bit. But still, when you go searching on Spreaker or Apple or Stitcher or Spotify, and you put down a topic, whatever you put down, boy, there's a lot of... It is amazing to me when I see the cover art of all these podcasts. You would think so many of these podcasts were created by a network podcast channel, or, I was going to say network TV. You know how every show has its logo, right? Logos, artwork, cover art to attract your attention, book covers. I don't know if there's more podcasts than books right now. I would venture to say yes, because it's easier to speak into the bottom of your phone as a almost retired, or hopefully soon to be retired, middle-aged, obese, bald truck driver in a Dodge Caravan on a Friday morning while it's raining on the New York State Thruway than it is to write a book. There you go. Did you wait for the miracle? Because there you go. That's a big part of it. I'm probably, largely, hugely, immensely, humbly, whatever, unqualified to do a podcast. There would be no podcast if it wasn't for podcasting. I wouldn't be broadcasting. That's what I wanted to say. I wouldn't be broadcasting if it wasn't for podcasting. Nobody would want me on their AM radio station. Nobody would want me on their FM radio station. Nobody would be looking for me on shortwave. Nobody would be looking for me on longwave. I could stand on a box, which some guys have done over the years, in Times Square. If you don't know this, it's true. It's nothing I make up. I try not to make up anything on the show. If I do make something up, you'll know about it. So this is 100% integrity. I could stand on a box in Times Square with a megaphone, probably need a permit. I have no idea. I would feel like an idiot applying for that permit, and do my show standing on a box. Ladies and gentlemen, gather around. I want to talk to you about pragmatism. What? I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way. I got to get breakfast. I got things to do. I'm going to sit here and listen to a nut yell about pragmatism. Who's got all that time in New York City? Maybe if I was yelling about religion, I've seen guys yell about religion. They yell about the white devil. There's a lot of that going on in Manhattan. Come and listen to about the white devil. Like, holy cow. That takes some guts. I should record it. One of these days, if I go to New York City and anybody's still doing that, maybe I'll bring a camera and I'll record it. It's amazing. The white devil is probably the number one topic. If you're going to stand on a box on the corner of 42nd and 8th Avenue or whatever is the central, 42nd and Broadway, I think that's the middle of Times Square. Dave, you don't know? Yeah, it gets a little confusing. 7th Avenue and Broadway kind of intersect. It's a New York thing. Most people don't know about that. That's where all those superheroes, those fake superheroes, stand there and bully customers into taking pictures and paying for them. You might have heard about that on the news. That's where they drop the ball. It's like 7th Avenue, Broadway. It's a whole thing. 41st Street, really, it's something like that. Maybe 43rd. Anyway, so nobody would want me to do that. There's no room for me in that industry. Not the way I am. Not as a truck driver. I didn't go to broadcasting school. I didn't go to journalism school. I didn't pay my dues as an intern on some other show. I didn't work my way up. I did public access. That's one of my greatest accomplishments. I did public access. I was huge in public access in the Hudson Valley area. Whoop-dee-doo. You know what public access is? It's no money, and it's a struggle to get audience. And I had a niche show. I just did a show specifically about the local racing scene and NASCAR. And, well, I got some notoriety. But I didn't build on top of it. Why? Because I'm a dummy. Because I'm overwhelmed with life. And I just have not put the pieces together. I have been in touch with people in the last couple of weeks who are really good at it. They've written books. They've launched successful podcasts. They have video. They have audio. They have graphics. They have social media. They have a composure. They have brains. They have guests. They got a whole thing going on. I got nothing going on. I got this. This is what I do. This is my 308th attempt at doing this. Actually, that's not true. I've done more than these. I deleted a whole bunch when I didn't like them. And there's still a couple in the can that I haven't released. And right now, that would be so dumb to release them. They're so out of line. They're so off the rails. They're so outdated and all that crap. Maybe I'll use them for a blooper reel or something like that. So, this is it. This is Dumbing It Down with Dave. I don't even know what time I'm on the show. Is it 20 minutes, a half an hour? I got my glasses. I would play the sound effect if I could, but I can't right now because it's not going to work. Let me see what it says here. 21 minutes. Okay. Sounds good. I got 8 more minutes to go. Try not to go over 30 minutes. So what's my problem? My problem is, I think one of the problems about my problem, so we know what the problem is. I got too much going on. It's not just the podcast. It's not just the YouTube channel. I have a house. I promised my wife I wouldn't quit my job and retire unless the house was done. The house has to be done. If I supplement my truck driving income with podcasting YouTube income, would she be happy? Could I retire? I think I could find a way to make that work. I think she would allow that, maybe. Or she might go, no, it's not steady. You don't know, to 1 second you're going to say something stupid and get deplatformed like Alex Jones and lose millions of dollars or thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. Like, all right, you're right. You're right. If I stay at this job until I'm 62, which is about 3 more years, I should be 2.5 years, actually. Who's counting? I am. Then I should be able to retire. Social Security will not be enough. So maybe I won't file. Maybe I'll get a part-time job. The goal is to have Dave's Fit Life and Dumbing It Down with Dave monetized to such an extent where it's something. It's not $11 every 2 to 3 months like it is on Spreaker right now. When I regularly have done Spreaker between episode, I forget what it was, 150 and 300, or that was my last episode. I was doing, I think, $11 every 2 months from all the advertising you hear. That's why, by the way, I appreciate when the commercials come on, don't fast forward. Just let it play. Let it play. You don't have to listen to it. I don't care about Geico and Home Depot and all these other companies. I don't know what you hear. Sometimes you hear Spanish advertisements for some reason. I don't know why. But it all depends also on your location. You might hear something more local. However they got it worked out, I appreciate you listening to it because I do get paid like a penny every time it plays or every time something like that. So $11 was my best. Every 2 months I think I reached at some point. I have to look in my history. I don't remember what it was. But I remember one time it was 5 months and then 4 months, 3 months, and then 2 months. I can't live on $11 on Spreaker. But I do have YouTube, and I do plan on doing everything better. And I got my VA in the Philippines, and I might have a second VA soon. My previous one might be coming back. We're working out the details right now to bring Dumbing It Down with Dave back up to snuff. So there's new software that I'm using in a beta. Some guy created some software. So things are happening. Things are happening, and I'm very optimistic for 2023. But what does this have to do with the episode, Dave? What does this have to do with me? With you, with me. When I say me, I mean you. When I say you, I mean me. Right? Because I'm not the only one going through this. Having too much to do can be a problem. And you really got to focus. You really got to have discipline. So I promised my wife I wouldn't quit my job. I wouldn't retire until the house is done. The fence, the picket fence will be the last thing I think we install. We have the steel roofs, the metal roofs, what do you want to call it? The basement is still not completely 100% dry. We've been playing around with investing in the basement. I can go down a whole laundry list of things. We finally got a pool. After 30 years, we got a pool. Very luxurious. We have a pool. We have a heated pool. We have a deck that's not as big as I wanted it to be. I got a little mini deck attached to it's a new one, but it's attached to the older deck. But the mini deck is fine. It's enough. It's like a little plank, basically. It's not the deck I envisioned, but that deck with this economy, the way the lumber prices were, it would be like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. That's a lot of money for wood. The carpenter is worth the money, but the wood I don't think is. And the prices were inflated. We were hoping the prices came back down, but they haven't. And I can thank Brandon for that. Thank you, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Anyway, maybe not. Again, I know that there's some of you who listen to the show that the Trump stuff scares you. The MAGA stuff scares you. I don't like saying MAGA. I like saying Make America Great Again. I think it's been a big mistake to just condense it to the word MAGA and just say MAGA, because then it becomes MAGA. It's not about making America great again. It just becomes the word MAGA. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I don't like to abbreviate Dave's Fit Life or Dumbing It Down with Dave. I'm tempted to do that. I'm tempted to say DFL. When I type it in a letter to my VA or to anybody and I'm being repetitive, yeah, I'll say DFL. I'll say DIDWD, Dumbing It Down with Dave, when I'm repetitive. But I won't say that out loud. Every time I say Dave's Fit Life or Dumbing It Down with Dave, I want the algorithm to know I'm saying it. I want you to know I'm saying it. I want the first-time listener to know I'm saying it. It's important to get that out there. By the way, it's very important, if you could, folks, when I do post anything, to share it. That's one of my problems, is that there's not a lot of sharing going on. There's not a lot of word of mouth going on, and I don't want to be a blame game. I'm encouraging you. Please, if you like the show, if you enjoy the show, I love it when you post in the chat. I like it if you post in the chat a little bit more engaged to the show and not just, blurt something out, but I get it. It's good enough. Thank you. I do that too. Sometimes I don't have anything to say. I just say good show, great show, and that's okay. I get it. I'd like you to be a little bit more engaged in the topics and the subjects and the show itself. But, it's not always easy to do. I get it. Everybody's busy. I do get angry about it. I do get upset about it. It's not your fault. But thank you very much. But, yeah, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those are the big ones. Please, I appreciate you sharing, tweeting, retweeting, all that stuff. All right, 2.5 minutes. And the only reason why I'm saying the time is because I have to tell myself, because I'm going to be at work in 4.5 minutes. So the show's over in 2.5 minutes. I'm getting off the exit now, exit 23 in Albany, as we speak. Nice wet road, no ice, no snow. So, yeah, the house is a big problem. The house is a big opportunity, all right? That's what they say, right? No problems, just opportunities. So I have to stay at work. I need to make this money. I wish it was colder because I'd be busier, but whatever. I am enjoying my time off. It's been really slow the last month and a half, 2 months. Very slow. A lot less money than I'm used to making. But I'm not complaining. I keep on telling my dispatcher, don't hurt yourself. Just lay me off. But apparently they can't lay me off. Whatever. Okay. We had a whole thing about it. You're probably going, what? Of course they can lay you off. Anybody can lay you off. Yeah, well, apparently they can't. I can't explain it because I don't even understand it. And I've pushed the envelope a couple of times, but I don't want to push it anymore. Okay. Because you know what? It's not happening. And I always say you got to be careful what you wish for. You might get it. Right? So if I'm not getting a layoff, then there must be a reason. So good. Okay. I have software issues. I have hardware issues. I have so many creative issues. I have so many things. Also, I'm trying to get healthy. I got a DOT physical in a couple of weeks. You're going to be hearing about that. I've done an episode where I fooled the Department of Transportation one more time, and I was able to get a 2-year medical certification, a medical card saying, I don't have to come back for a physical for 2 more years. But right now, with my blood pressure the way it is, they might make me come back in 3 months. So I'm working on that. So my health is an issue. I'm still obese. I lost 40 pounds early in the year, and then I gained it all back because I got off schedule. Just like my life. I have too much ammunition, and I got too many things. You know what the thing I had? I had the pool. My wife said, come home. It's hot. Don't walk today. It's too hot to walk. It's too hot. She didn't say, well, it's too hot to walk. But you know what you should do? Stay up there. I encourage you. I'm not blaming her, but this is what she could have or should have said. Go to Planet Fitness. Stay in the cool. And then if the van's too hot, run the air conditioning or go to McDonald's. Whatever you have to do, but don't come home because then you'll stop exercising and you'll be upset. And that's basically what I did. I came home, I swam in the pool, which was great. It was great. I enjoyed myself. It was fantastic. I really did enjoy it. I got my value out of that pool. I got to wait for the train now. Oh, no. The train is coming here in Albany. I'm not waiting. I'm going to go around it. Oh, my God. Glad I just saw that. Wow. Anyway, there's a way of getting around this train. It's legal. I could have just went through the barrier, by the way, because there's room. But, they say don't do that because you be careful what you wish for. You might get it. I might get stuck on that railroad track. Oh, he's blowing his horn. I don't know if you can hear him. All right. 30 minutes and 30 seconds. I totally blew by the 30-minute mark. All right, guys, listen. If I left anything out, I'm sorry. Please make a note of it. Please, I encourage you, if you haven't done it before, engage in the Spreaker chat box. If you have done it before, please engage in the Spreaker chat box. Don't forget, you can tweet me at Done with Dave, DUMB with Dave. I don't get a lot of Twitter action. Email is dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. There's also, Facebook. Yeah, the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. Facebook group is there. That's what it's called. I made it easy, the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. There's also the page. For some reason, Facebook and other platforms are directing me towards the page and not the group. I don't get that. I don't understand what's happening, but I do have a page. I haven't been using it as much as I've been using the group, which I used to call the group page. So whatever Meta is doing, whatever the world is doing, I'm playing around with their rules. I'm playing along with their rules. So please, I am begging you. In a nice way, I'm imploring you. I will try to be as consistent as possible. You know how difficult it can be for me sometimes. This show really was on the edge of not happening, but it happened. I am way overloaded. I got too many things. I could have read an entire laundry list of things to you of what's going on in my life and why I'm not as consistent as I once was. But I will tell you this. When you guys do engage, it really fuels me. When you got all these witty comments, or brilliant comments, insightful comments, points of view that I didn't state, or questions that I can answer it when I do viewers' comments. All those things. I really do appreciate that. So, folks, thanks for tuning in to Dumbing It Down with Dave. You got a little bonus time today, and congratulations on that. And I hope you're having a great, safe January, or no, actually, when you're listening to this, it could be any time of the year. So I hope life is good for you whenever you are, wherever you are. And tune into the next episode, 309 of Dumbing It Down with Dave. I hope it's coming soon. You've been listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave. Pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all.